Let's get this party started! Welcome to the Forum Thread Podcast. Be sure to tweet at us at the Forum Thread and leave us your love in the Twitch chat. I am Wadabra, and here with me today I have Chaos Mana.
Hey!
The Wubwave.
Hey.
Zap 45.
Howdy.
Nobod.
Yubble.
And last but most certainly not least, the Miss Ray.
Yes!
Yeah. So, what were we talking about before I experienced technical difficulties?
I mean,
We were talking about various genders.
we're talking about gender.
Yeah,
it
was
I made a journal post on it a little bit ago, and it was basically all the gender roles on the internet. Of course, there's probably even more than that, but all the ones that you could be associated with or called by, and also all the gender preferences.
My personal favorite, the toaster.
How many were there in all?
It was like a whole
There's
bunch.
like over 60
Oh, wow.
different ones. One of my favorites, and I said before we started, but it was just opt out.
Opt out?
That was a
Like,
that was a gender
I
selection.
just opt out.
Yeah.
Did you also post one that was like all the various like sexual preferences?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
a link or something. That was hilarious as well.
I sexually identify as an F-22 Raptor.
I sexually
Hold on, I'm
identify
gonna
as
pull it up.
what was that? A transgender Firefox or something like that?
Trisexual
can-
Pyrofox.
Yeah, you knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm a
Cyanide
little...
and
Transgender
happiness, man.
Firefox,
Yeah.
alright.
No, Cyanide and Happiness is amazing. I love their jokes. They're great.
They're part of full screen up
I
there.
believe they are actually. I could be mistaken. So to Google I go.
What's full
Yes.
screen?
It's
Like
the company that
Yesterday.
now owns Rooster Teeth.
Huh.
Well-
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
I didn't know Rooster Teeth was owned by something.
Yes.
Now
it
you
is.
do.
I feel
Alright.
like this was a big thing at the time when it happened, and I was all a part of it, and then all of a sudden I forgot.
Okay, here I have the list here. We have genders like agender, one word, andro, baby dyke, baby girl. We have dyke on a bike.
What?
We have girly boy, girly girl, girly man, metagender, metamorph, midgender, mixed gendered.
What's a metamorph? I really want to know what that.
Gender challenge.
Down in the queues we have a queer dyke, a queer femme, a queer minded, queer gendered, or queerly straight.
You know what?
Like, I am really
like
straight,
darks,
okay?
like darks,
And,
boyfriends.
I'll skip
coworker.
over to the orientation or attraction. You can be an ambisexual, an autosexual, a bear lover, a bent, a biromantic, bicurious,
Wait, did you say a
bisexual.
bent? You can be a
Yep,
bent?
bent. You can be
Like a
a
Bentley?
fetishist, a flamer, a friend of
Cissexual.
Dorothy.
This is sexual, yeah.
You can be lesbian, lesbian identified, lesbi gay, lesbi man, lesbo, lesbro, lesbian.
Oh, I like that. I'm a lesbro.
And you can be omnisexual.
You get it? Because I'm the brother of a lesbian, so I'm a
Yeah.
lesbro.
Yeah.
Huh?
Ah.
And at the very end
Alright,
of the
leave the
list, we
bad
have
puns
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yesterday. I'm just not quite feeling it today, man.
I really want to know what a metamorph is. It sounds like something from Power Rangers.
Sounds
I was thinking,
like a
it reminded me of
Pokemon.
Animorphs, like,
Yeah.
when they change, like, oh,
Metamorph, go! Dragonzord!
My question is, what is an autosexual? Is that when you're like just walking down the street and just randomly orgasm for no reason?
Maybe.
What's a gender
Like it happens
tyrant?
automatically?
I don't know, I was picturing, like, someone having sex with the tailpipe of an automobile myself.
That happened.
No.
Did you guys ever see that documentary about people who are attracted to objects?
Yes.
Mega-
And the woman that was,
Yeah.
like, sexually attracted to the, was it the Statue of Liberty?
It was the Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Was
I knew it
was
was
she
one
gonna
of
do
those
sit on the
landmarks.
entire thing?
What?
No, there's like...
That's
it-
that's
I
probably
don't-
one you can fall into.
What?
Yes. Yes, that would.
Call back to a previous conversation for
So,
everyone who
so
doesn't
for
know.
those of you listening on the chat who have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, Ray made a joke earlier about it falling into holes making you gay, and it's like, what if the hole is a vagina? So Statue of
I
Liberty.
meant penis falling in vagina, thank you, not a whole
You
person.
didn't specify penis. You
I didn't
just.
know I needed to.
You have,
No,
with this
I-
group
Right,
of people, you need
with
to
all
specify.
the stuff, especially like dark. You got to be more specific here.
Yeah.
I didn't think Dark would think of just giant vagina.
Yeah.
But-
You don't know Dark.
yeah. You've been absent from one too many podcasts.
True.
True. I mean,
Literally one too many. See, after this podcast now you know. And
Yeah.
you won't be absent from
You'll
one
be
too
caught
many.
up. Actually,
And it,
yeah.
Now
like,
you know
it
that
literally
it's
works.
Mike's super short show.
yeah.
My Super Short Show? Is that a Nickelodeon thing?
I
I
fucking don't.
don't.
Now it's our thing.
Yeah, I recognize
art
the
thing.
Diddy, but I don't know what it's from.
I recognize the
I-
Diddy. Doesn't that sound...
It's either Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. They had a little,
Antiquated.
like, kids thing. Probably on Teen
Okay,
Nick.
Google. Mike's Super Short Show.
It's my
So
Super
can we
Short
just
Show.
agree that there's maybe too many genders on the internet?
Maybe just a few too many.
Yeah,
like,
that
there's a
list,
few of those that we could cut out.
It was on the
that
Disney
list is
Channel.
amazing.
I'm sure a few of those are jokes, right?
Well,
I'm sure.
some of them are jokes, but then again,
A lot
I
are.
have a feeling that this was compiled from like a website like Tumblr. Or
I'm
something.
a gender pirate or a gender Nazi. I haven't decided.
No, you
What's a
are a
gender
gender
pirate?
Nazi, okay? With your affinity towards Nazis, you're a gender Nazi.
Yeah.
I sexually identify as a cattle train. I'm sorry to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like someone that wants to run a train and a bunch of fat women. I'm sorry.
So when's...
Oh my god, you broke him!
Did you just call my girlfriend a cow?
No, your girlfriend just called other women cows.
No, I was poorly attempting to quote the first
I
RPG
know.
Big
season.
beautiful women.
Yeah, it is. Ladies.
So I'm pretty sure as the forum thread, or at least Wubwave can take the full credit for this, maybe. But a new gender has been born to the internet as a thread.
Yes, we are the thread.
Ah,
True.
yeah.
Wait,
We are all threads.
wait, threads
I'm
are
not a guy, I'm
sexual
not a girl,
now?
I'm a thread.
I'm not sure I'm comfortable with threads being sexual now. I don't know how I
That's
feel
gender.
about
That's not how I
Someone can be-
sexually identify.
If someone can be sexually attracted to the Eiffel Tower, someone can be sexually attracted.
Well,
I think that's
Attracted
already
to
probably a
web.
phrase.
there's-
Like, honestly,
Why do you think people go to the 50-plus thread? Because it's attractive.
you don't go to the 50-plus thread.
plus
I'm,
the-
I'm,
No one-
I'm still
But-
49.
yeah.
Don't even.
Yeah.
No one
Yeah.
goes there.
Yeah, it's an
It's
abandoned
empty.
wasteland, is what.
if the site
Jack
was
keeps
a little
telling
bit
us.
better, like fluid and produced, I think that would be
Gender
that
fluid?
would see more. Yes,
How does
I
the-
think that would see more activity.
How does the fucking karma system even work? I'm
the,
sure
the
Shadowhound
more stuff
knows,
you,
but
the
he
more
has yet
well,
to divulge
right
to me.
now it works. The more stuff you do, and the more people like your stuff, like votes and different things.
The thumbs up doesn't actually do much anymore. It's
Yeah,
all
it doesn't
about,
do much overall, but it does
Just a little bit.
calculate a little bit.
It's all
Yeah.
about spamming the forums. So, like one of the guys I hang out with in some of the game forums, he pretty much just is on for I don't know. He's always on. He's just always on, and he's
Stranger
always,
Kook?
He's out. No, not Stranger Kook. He's not always on. He has right now. He's got the emblem of the green Spartan helmet that's kind of pixelated. I don't remember his name.
Lawrence.
Lorenz.
What?
Lorenz?
Yeah,
Lorenz?
maybe. I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that a
that's
chick?
Lawrence. I'm on the foreign games.
Yeah,
I used to be on the
so-
foreign games enough, so I know him. I know
What
like
do you think
prominent
Lorenz
figures.
identifies
So
as
in
before you
the-
say him?
In the Level Up Lounge, he's been going through the levels pretty quickly, but he's been doing that by pretty much just spamming the game forums, just lurking there, and anytime someone posts, he posts back. So it's like that's how you can get higher karma levels now. You can just kind of hang out and make single word replies, like in the word game, or the first thing that comes to your mind, which is also a single word reply, and climb up the karma level instead of actually like participating in the site and getting people to like your shit.
Yeah, farm the forums.
Yeah, farm.
Yeah, the forum. I mean, that's how I just quick spam it. I haven't had enough time to do quickly on the forum game since I'm not just like bored at school anymore. But there was a time where that's what I was able to do, was just be on every single forum game and just do that over and over. But then again, that's how I kind of met Dark, is just kind of hopping from forum to forum until I got to the forum thread.
But the only reason I
stuck with the forum thread, and the newest one I've been to is the Oxford Comma Cafe, which is pretty cool. They're pretty intellectual there. They also get kind of snobby too
No.
at times.
No intellectuals.
Yeah, I don't
No.
like that one. I was there when I saw it when it was founded, and I'm like, oh, this sounds kind of interesting. And then I followed it for a few pages, and I'm like, actually, I'm bored.
Yeah, it does get kind of boring or dull at times, but there are a few conversations that are pretty interesting to have upon the occasion. The only forum
I
you
don't
should
wanna
be going
take
to
credit.
is the forum thread, though.
I don't want to take credit for creating a second thread, but the big fight that led to the creation of the Oxford Comic Cafe, I was in that.
Let me guess, you were the one pissing everybody off, weren't you?
No reply.
Let's not forget that I did get half of the 20+ forum thread banned.
That was a day.
Yeah,
I mean, it was kind of a cumulative effort.
that was
between me
back
and
when
Wobwave,
we weren't using them as chat rooms because it was nowhere close to the amount of posts that you see in like the Let's Be Friends podcast, Let's Be Friends thread. But it was still
Let's
we
Be
were
Friends.
basically using the
I think of that every
those
time.
like four or five forum threads as like little chat rooms while
Yeah.
also kind of talking about the topic that they were after. But then again, they otherwise wouldn't be used. It's
Yeah, most people don't get it, but that's actually why every time I'm in the roll call thread, I'll always be like, "Hi, I'm new here," and everyone will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm trying not to get us banned."
Yeah.
Half the time we don't know what you're saying anyway.
yeah, I think it was
I don't think
just
people
like
read.
overall complaints, but now I think that issue's been sorted out. We did used to do on the Hangout corner, which we had going for a little bit, but that's kind of like the level 50 forums now.
Yeah, but we just sort of consolidate. It's like, we don't need like 13 threads to talk
True.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only need the one.
You really don't. You only need
Yeah.
The Hangout Quarter wasn't created canon, though. It was created falsely.
It was
Exactly.
created out of spite directly because of all our things being taken away from us, like out of nowhere.
And then we realized we didn't need it anyway.
I'm intrigued by all this lore because I'm a new timer, if you will. So it's fascinating to hear like the strife and struggles online you had. to handle. It's
It was a big day when that happened. Like even though we were kind of spread, it was like being able to have like 5 different conversations at once while not being overwhelmed by it. Like you could pop in, like be talking about say a movie with Birdman and the like 10-year thread, and then go on to another thread and be talking about Rooster Teeth.
Never forget.
It even got to the point where you didn't even know what you were talking about in which thread, and if you didn't,
That's
back and
another
read
problem
everything.
with it.
Yeah.
Back in my day,
Yeah,
we
that's
had
why
vacuum.
Miss Bravo 7, she said I'd never introduced myself, so I just showed up one day, and I'm like, that's why I didn't recognize her, because I usually like to lurk unless the conversation is something I can add on to.
You
But,
filthy, dirty lurker. You.
Yeah, basically.
Unless the conversation's savory enough for Zach's taste.
It has to be succulent
Hey,
enough.
Oh, succulent. My bad.
Yeah, you're mistaken.
You said it though.
yeah, I
Very
did.
different.
I did say it.
You deserve everything you get.
Yeah, you're right. But these are adjectives, so they're worthy of being describing of the things.
They're worthy.
The word
Worthy.
precisely. So
So do we actually have a topic for this
we
podcast?
do. We do.
no, that was the Rooster Teeth topic, but one topic that I definitely wanted to talk about is the fact that, and I saw another couple tweets confirming that it's more true than just this rumor. They're actually
3.
making a full-out Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, damn.
Hollywood is planning a Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
What?
Let me scroll down
I hope
here.
Scott gets to be. A
It
consultant.
sounds like and it said it sounds like Scott, the actual creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, will have a lot of creative say in how this goes. And if he doesn't, I see this being a very bad thing. It basically overall this movie has a lot of potential if they do it right. I'm afraid they won't though.
The video game doesn't really make much logical sense when you think about it, so I
There's
don't
a
know
lot of
how it could.
backstory
Well-
to it, though.
It has a
it
backstory,
does make
but it
sense
makes-
if you follow the backstory.
No, like so the lore in the game and everything works well within the game universe itself, but if you try to apply like real life logic to Five Nights at Freddy's and what the main character is actually doing, it kind of falls apart.
It does, which is why I think that there's a lot of potential for this movie just to go south because they're doing it like, hey, guess what, guys? It's a Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Oh,
instead
you
of
meant
actually.
I thought you. Okay, I'm sorry. I heard potential, and so I thought you were saying like, oh, it's going to be really good, not potential to go south. I mean, I totally agree. Yeah, south.
Like, yeah, I'm hoping that they don't just make it a lot of gimmicky, like try to make the movie open with a guy sitting with a tablet in a chair.
There's gonna be
pressing the
Oscar
door.
bait out the ass.
I think
Who's gonna direct it?
Yeah.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, then like all the animatronics just explode for no reason.
Instead of the jump scare,
like a
instead of the jump scares, it's just like explosions.
like a legitimate director I'd pick would be like Christopher Nolan. He's got some darker tones to his films.
Yeah, if they make it well and they like maybe even make it a PG-13 type movie, or you know, a little higher than that, then there's a potential for a good storyline because of all the lore that's not even been created by the game, but created just by the fandom alone. There's so much to work with. They just have to do it right. Like, they could not even mention the original like characters you play as in any of the 3 games. They could just mention the animatronics and the original phone guy that's been working with them.
The
What
original
are those?
phone guy.
You know, like
Canon.
when like a new thing is launched, like they did for Halo 3 ODST, where they have like those little sites that are like spoofs with Easter eggs that are like sort of leading to something. What are those called?
What do you mean?
God damn it!
Foreshadow?
My brain is going to RNG.
I call
but
them
I know that's
stupid.
not
Like
true.
I hated that. Like so when they announced the orbital whatever that Halo thing was, Halo 3 orbital drop thing.
Shock Trooper.
Yeah, that. It like the hype that they created around it made it seem like it was going to be really good. And
It was epic and awesome.
well, that's what it made it seem like. They really built this thing up, and then you get the product, and you're like, oh,
It's
Well,
pretty
It
fun,
was epic
though.
and awesome.
Like it
It's
was
kind
Yeah,
of
well, I mean,
the
but
same.
I'm trying to think of the word for it because that's basically what Five Nights at Freddy's is. I mean, the game is, it's fine, but it's just the fact that it's all the little stuff that is hidden throughout it that people look for and are like obsessed over.
Well,
Yeah,
that
look
makes
for
it
the
Easter egg.
details. We said this before on another podcast a little bit, but they have details that are just vague enough to where you can't say, "Hey, this is the lore, and this is why this happened. This is when this happened." No,
It keeps you
well, it
guessing.
could have happened like this. It could have happened like this. Only
the
you
Game
know,
Theorist
people,
does a good show on Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes,
Yeah.
like he has the best theory, especially on Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I'm inclined to believe that's what Scott originally had in mind. I'm eagerly waiting for him to do one for the 3rd game, which I see him doing because everyone basically associates him with doing the lore and then Markiplier with doing the gameplay.
But I mean, that's
Yeah,
sort
everyone
of,
and their mom is requesting it, I'm sure.
that's sort of what the movie would have to do is just keep with that theme of giving you little hints at stuff, but not actually telling you. And I think that's where
I
it would
would
go
love
wrong
that.
if they were just
yeah,
like,
just a whole
"Oh,
bunch
it's
of
this."
different
Like,
yeah.
Well, do you think they're going to do an origin story? Do you think they're going to basically do the Bite of 87 before it happens?
Maybe.
Oh
Or-
yeah, that'd
Or
be
do,
intriguing.
like at the original Fredbear, whenever the original ghost kid was killed.
maybe. I mean, I just want them to
they
make.
could
I-
do that.
The fastest way to ruin something like that would be to just say, "Oh, this is what happened. This is the lore." Like that is what.
Oh
would
yeah,
ruin it.
if they just say it straight up, I would still want to see it happen, at least some parts of it, because to see, especially if Scott is the main creative director in this, then I would love to see him reveal as much backstory as he wants to put it through in the movie form.
Yeah. I'm
Um,
sure as long as Scott gets a majority vote or sort of like a huge say in the creative process, it'll be akin to the video games
Yeah.
as best as
As
possible.
per actors, though, who do you think would be?
No names, honestly. I like new upcoming actors who aren't attached to any particular persona or role because I feel like
No,
Hugh
Markiplier.
Jackman. No, I
Yeah,
feel like Hugh
we
Jackman.
did suggest
people like that.
Markiplier being the security guard if they choose
I
to,
don't think
to go with that
so.
storyline. That would be hilarious.
I mean,
It would
it'd
make
be
a great
hilarious,
face every
but-
time something scary happens.
Yeah.
To be fair, he has done acting in like
It's-
various
And we don't-
skits and stuff.
It's
I mean,
all right.
The
like,
budget for this
but you want a
movie is
professional.
probably not going to be like super high, but I mean, I can
Yeah.
definitely see them having like a no-name actor that we don't know.
Yeah.
Or
I
Shia
just,
LaBeouf.
I just hope that they,
Or
if
Shia
they,
LaBeouf,
if they
that'd
choose
be
to go the route of just like showing you a movie version of the first game, that they have Scott do the voice of the phone guy.
Of
Still,
course.
But I
Of
mean,
course,
I'm
they
still
have to.
wondering what the movie would be. I mean, the
yeah,
game is
it's
sitting in
either
a
it
jail.
would either be like an origin story of what happened in '87 or before '87, or it would be a movie version of what like Schmidt is doing in the first game. Or they might do the third game, like him battling Springtrap.
Maybe. It would be.
That'd be
I would
interesting.
just be. It would be interesting to see how they do it, but I just want to make sure that they don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
They have a big potential to make it just like, why is this a thing?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are plenty of people who will buy tickets just to see what it's like. So
Yeah, and there's
opening
also going to be a lot of
weekend might
people
be
raging
huge.
that the fact that they're even considering creating this, because a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
think that it's just the worst game ever. And
There's
why
always-
does it?
No.
You have to appreciate it for what it is. I mean, it's one
Yeah,
dude.
it's not claiming to be a 5-star game. It's
Yeah.
it's like a a small little arcade
It's
game.
one dude making a whole bunch of different mini games for you to play
Yeah.
on
are
all one
less than
condensed
10
hub.
that are less than $10. I mean,
A mini game. Like the third game was the most expensive, and it was like $7 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, like back in the day, I could see this being an arcade machine, and you'd
Yeah.
probably spend $7 or $8 playing it.
And how hard it is also reminiscent of a lot of arcade machines, because those things you would take multiple quarters over and over because you keep on dying.
Actually,
Well, in this one you keep on dying and you just have to retry over and over.
Morgan Freeman as phone guy, no. That
Hello.
wouldn't make
Hello.
any
Mike
sense.
Schmidt.
No, that's,
well, it seems you're here still.
that's Shu.
We're the same person.
Or
that we're-
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman, phone guy. Yes, do it.
Yeah, no. Oh, man.
Could you
check
inside one of those heads in the back?
Yeah, like would they do the plot line from 2,
I-
1, or
I like 3.
before that?
I think 3 has a huge potential.
Honestly,
it
I think
does,
they'd have
but
to
if they're
do it.
trying to establish the canon as a movie, they can't really skip right to him fighting that unless they want
And
to
well,
like
they
encompass
Couldn't they do
all
all
three.
games? Couldn't they do all 3 games?
They
like a
could.
flashback and then
They
for
could
the
like
first
has,
game
like
and
start like with one of those things where it starts with an opening scene, like maybe him fighting off Claptrap, Springtrap, and then it like 100 years ago, like 50 years ago, and
Yeah.
it shows the first fight, and then it
Yeah, it could
flashes
just be
forward
like
20
a-
more years to the first game's plotline.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Claptrap, I just started playing the first Borderlands game.
Borderlands.
Just
Is
now?
it good?
I've beaten the pre-sequel and I've played the sequel, but I haven't actually beat the sequel. I'm like, hey, I should play the first game and then beat the second game.
Yeah, I
It's
mean, you can if you
pretty good.
want. Yeah, Borderlands 1 is
I'm-
okay. I mean, it's
I'm going
it's
to.
fun, but
I got it for like $5 used, so I'm going to.
yeah, I mean, Borderlands 1 was fun, but it was just it was definitely more of like a look what we can do
Stepping stone.
with this.
Yeah.
And you're like, that's cool. And then in the second one, they're like, look what we can do with this, and now it actually has a story, and you're like, oh my god.
I gotta say, I really enjoyed the pre-sequel. That I had no idea I would love it as much as I did, and that was fucking fantastic.
What was the first? Did you play
Their-
Borderlands
their
2
humor's
first
great.
or the pre-sequel?
I played Borderlands 2, but I played it with other people on the internet, so I had absolutely no idea what the
Oh.
story was.
Yeah, don't do that.
So I figured, hey, I could play the pre-sequel, then play the sequel. But then I found that they had the first one for like $5. I'm like, oh, I could play the first one.
That's
so I'm
that's a
going
good
to.
way. Are you gonna go through it like do the first one, the pre-sequel, and then the sequel?
Well, I already beat the pre-sequel, so then I'm going to play the first one, then I'm going to play the second one.
Ah, fair enough.
Ah, cool. That's so you're basically doing it in chronological order
Yeah,
in
Was-
the
was-
game's lore, technically.
I thought the pre-sequel was
before 2.
between.
Yeah, it's between
after
1
one,
and
but
2,
before
isn't it?
2.
Yeah, so he's
Oh,
going
is
to
he?
1.5 to 1 to 2, which is still fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the pre-sequel because Borderlands 2 is the sequel.
Oh, okay.
There's
You
pre.
right.
yeah.
You right. You right.
Trust me, I know.
I
You know
fucked
what
up.
you talk about once in a while.
Are you gonna play the DLC for Borderlands 1?
No, I'm not going to pay for that shit.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's really where it sort of came into its own. Like, Borderlands 1 is okay.
really?
It has some little funny parts, and it's like, it's fun. But it's like the DLC where it's like, has that Borderlands goofiness. Like,
God damn it! Now you're going to make me pay for the DLC.
you should,
after
like,
I-
Ned's Undead Island or whatever is pretty good. Like, it's the Halloween one, and it's like all spooky, and it has a really
spooky.
silly story.
I hear that
Okay,
started
fine.
dubstep.
I will look out for Ned's spooky Halloween extravaganza
Ned's
thing.
it's Dr. Ned's Undead Island or something silly like that.
That's what I just said.
Something, yeah, close, whatever. Did you play the DLC for Borderlands 2?
No.
God damn it!
I'm a cheapskate right now, okay?
Why do you think he's not coming to RTX?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Assault
I
on
broke
Dragon's
people.
Keep is good though, because you can fight a dragon in Borderlands. Like
I'm still waiting desperately to get the new Dragon Age game because I so
Dragon
very
Age
much want to play it.
Inquisition.
Yeah, but I want to do it properly, and I want to play it on a next-gen system, so I have to get an Xbox One, which is even more expensive. So I'm just
And then
not
get
playing it.
just play it on your
Crap for
computer.
Xbox One.
Yeah,
No,
don't you have a
you need to play it
supercomputer?
properly.
I hate playing. I would much rather play with a controller. Well, actually,
You
no.
can play
Yeah,
a controller on your computer.
Yeah, but
The
I want the
controller
gamer
won't be
score.
as good. The
I
controller
want the
will not be
gamer
as
score.
good.
You can just buy an
wants the
Xbox
achievements.
controller for you.
Yeah,
He
but
said-
No, I have the
people-
X- I
what
have that
PC
already.
users don't understand is that those plug-in controllers are different than the wireless ones. Like,
They
No,
are
I
different.
have
They
a
have
wireless
wires, that is
Xbox
true.
controller.
I mean,
Attached
well,
to my
with
computer.
mine,
For the feel,
I
the
got
crispness of the buttons.
drivers installed on my computer, and I'm just straight up using a controller that was meant for the game console. It's not one of the ones that is like
Yeah.
a computer controller. It's,
Yeah, that-
it's one right from a game console.
I have a
That's
GameStop
exactly what I'm using, too.
Xbox 360 controller that I plugged into my computer, and it works just fine.
Yeah, I have the Xbox 360 wireless controller, and then I have a wireless adapter for it, so I can plug it up to the computer. I'm actually
That would work.
replaying Morrowind, using
Skyrim or
key. No, Skywind hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, it's
oh
not.
yeah, I remember.
It's the Morrowind overhaul project, though. It's really damn amazing. It actually slows my computer down a bit because the graphic fidelity is so high. They throw in a lot of details. You can tell whoever crafted it has a hell of a lot of love for the game. So
My
I'm
gosh,
doing that.
it's amazing that
And
they're
also-
putting, I did have so much fun with it. It's amazing that
There's also the Morrowind is Morrowind expansion Tamriel restoration project for Morrowind, which you know how the game takes place on the island of Vardenfell.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually is rebuilding the mainland of Morrowind around the island of Vardenfell that you can actually go to and explore with all the different cities and the landscapes and stuff like that. It's about 50% done from what I have downloaded. There's an alpha version that lets you kind of play all of the landscape, but you'll suffer some serious technical difficulties. So the version I have only has like half of the mainland in place, but still, it's fucking amazing.
Hopefully,
Like,
it never gets Oculus Rift support, or we will never see you again.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
the
I'll be
Skyrim
gone.
project.
I'll be living in Vardenfell for the rest of my days.
Dude,
I
that'd
would
be
I
pretty
would
sick.
want one. I mean, ESO kind of does it, but I'd want a game like that would let you walk to Morrowind and then go over to Skyrim and then go over to Tamriel.
That
That
would
would be nice, but that would be just a gargantuan.
Ugh,
It would.
God. Could you
Well,
imagine
like,
being
uh,
on
Minecraft,
treadmill
it
while
doesn't all have
walking?
to load at once.
So get this: the original game files for Morrowind and its 2 expansions on my computer took up just over 4 gigs. Once I did the Morrowind overhaul without adding the mainland, it doubled the size to over 8 gigs. Then when I added the extra mainland landmass, it boosted it up to about, I think it was like 12 gigs of space. So it just completely balloons the amount of space that the game takes up. Just adding these extra details.
Do
Is
any of
this
you
just
follow-
visual details? Is this not like the noise or sound or like voice updates?
There's some better sound. There's no voices that have been recorded. It's still the standard vanilla voices, but there are some new sounds.
Die.
There are some new visuals too. Like you can walk around and you'll see like bugs flying. When you harvest stuff, they actually disappear from the landscape instead of just saying
Like
you harvested
kind
that.
of like in Skyrim.
Yeah, but Skyrim will still leave a little bit of whatever it is still sitting there, so you know that there's something there. This particular expansion or mod just removes it completely from the game world, and until it grows back.
I was
later.
I was just about to ask, will it grow back?
Yeah, it still grows back, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Like if you take everything out of all the pots in the cities, like, wow, there's a lot of ugly ass empty pots here. But then a month or so later, everything grows back, and you're like, oh look, it's back again.
Do any of you follow Adam Kovic on Twitter?
No.
No. It's pretty cool though.
When you guys were talking about the space of the game, the screenshots released for the size of how big Grand Theft Auto 5 will be for the PC, and it's like 59 gigabytes. Like, holy
What?
shit. Yeah, that's a big ass game.
That doesn't fit on a Blu-ray disc.
No, it does not.
No, it does
But
not.
the game would probably still work on the Xbox One because the Xbox One games are bigger than what's on the disc. That's why you have to usually
It's
do
only that
downloads.
big because of all the DRM. That's why it's so big.
59 gigabytes? I mean, maybe, but
59 gigabytes of DRM.
did you hear about
Hey, we got ours first.
Did you hear about the graphical stuff that they're adding to the PC version though?
Yeah, they're
No.
adding a whole bunch of
It
cool
has
stuff.
and I think if you run at max settings, you need like 2 GT graphics codes.
There's Jesus.
You need 2 Jesus graphics cards?
Essentially,
you
probably.
need 2 like really high-powered graphics cards to run it on max settings, which
are
really
more
impressive.
expensive than an Xbox One.
They're also more powerful than an Xbox One.
Probably look.
So
only
why
slightly
would
the
they?
same.
I don't understand why they would do that. I mean, the fact that they're doing it is kind of cool, but from a money-making point of view, why the fuck are they doing that? There's not that many people that would benefit from something that detailed.
Well, consider like GTA 4's lifespan on the PC was years because of modding and stuff. So I think they're just future-proofing it for the next like 5 to 10 years of being able to
okay,
play.
that
A
makes
lot of
sense.
people still play
I
GTA
can see
4
that.
on consoles also.
I'm sure that's true, but I mean, it had such a huge life on the PC because of the fact that of mods and various other things.
Even Skyrim has still been played a lot because of all the freaking mods, and there's even a mod network now just for downloading
I still play Skyrim without
all
mods.
these.
That's good, no bud.
That's because you suck.
It's still fun.
Yeah, sure, it's fun, but you know, it's boring. Like I've been playing Fallout New Vegas off and on the last couple of months with mods, and it's like this is like a whole new game. Like
It's not necessarily
Stop.
boring, but games, when you know there's mods, like Minecraft, I'm playing essentially the vanilla version right now, but all the mods that you can do make the game so amazing.
Did you find
And
a
this is just Minecraft. Like, Skyrim, I really want to try out, like, 50 of the mods I've seen.
they have some that are like
The best mod on Skyrim is the one that allows everyone to be naked. And then the second best mod is the one that allows everyone to fuck.
I like the My Little Pony mod. You can
don't combine those
you can
together.
be a pony. Yeah,
I was
Don't
just
combine
about to
Dark
say,
mods with the other one.
yeah.
I was about to say the third one is when you have My Little Pony and then you get to fuck the My Little
No,
Pony.
we can
would-
skip doing that. You don't
I'm
don't
sure
fuck the pony.
someone
The pony fucks
somewhere
you.
would want to do that.
What are we talking about? What the
Okay.
fuck?
Anyway,
I just found out that Nobot likes to take it up the butt from
No,
ponies.
that's not. That wasn't relevant to anything I said.
That's what you just said. That's what you just said.
So the
You
pony
literally
fucks
just
you.
phrased it like that.
No,
even.
because you are the pony in it, not. What?
don't worry about it.
What the fuck?
Don't worry about it. We're hitting the
Okay,
eject button
I'm
on this
glad I took
conversation.
that time to take a beer piss. So,
Yeah,
you know,
beer
Anyway.
what's everyone else doing?
We're talking about mods, and then everything just went off the rails. But
Let's bring it back a bit. And,
I think that's the
talk
point of
about-
mods, is to derail the game.
take the entire game off the rails.
There are some mods which make the game basically broken, and like, well, certain ones improve Skyrim. There was like the ones that Ross used that just made it like, wasn't it like Macho Man?
Macho Man.
There's some that make like the dragons in Skyrim Tom's the Tank Engine.
Yeah, the train. They're just attacking trains.
Some of them are really ridiculous, but some are actually like really practical. Like the Fallout New Vegas ones I was talking about, where it updates the textures to actually make it look like a really nice, pretty modern day game instead of the old, nasty ass Fallout game that it was before.
It was a really ugly looking game. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like it, because the thing was just so fucking
game you
ugly.
talking about?
Yeah,
I
New
like the
Vegas
mods
is
for
really good,
Skyrim
though.
that increase the followers' abilities. Like you can have a little league of followers
That's cool.
with some
The
of
one-
the mods.
one of the coolest ones in New Vegas, just to go back to that, because that's the one I've been modding the most recently,
Oh,
is
yeah.
like the power armor helmets will actually be able to give you night vision and like other neat
like,
little
like a
addition.
power armor helmet would do.
Yeah, and there's like rain and like sandstorms, and that's where it actually really comes in handy when it's raining and it's a sandstorm at the same time. You can just pop on your thermal vision and be able to see where everything is.
Thermal. Sick.
Yeah, that's pretty legit. Yeah.
I've been thinking about doing a stream in modded Fallout New Vegas at some point.
Is there even anything that's thermal in non-modded New Vegas?
I don't
No,
think
I don't
so,
think
to
so,
be
no.
honest.
That means that there's a lot of programming that went into those mods. Some of
yeah.
these modders are genius.
Yeah, some of these
Yeah.
modders are like amazing.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
wasn't-
crazy how they can work with the source engine and just code some.
well,
of
there
it.
is
Yeah, there's
VATs
a
to work
difference
with,
between
though.
like texture
Right.
replacements or like altering a figure, like how much health you get, and then there's adding an entire feature that's not in that game's code already.
Well, no, they had VATs to work with though, so it's like
I'm sure they probably used something like the overlay there, but it's like in real. Yeah, I'm sure they probably did some way of fiddling with it, but it's still quite a lot of programming going into that.
speaking about fiddles. Do you think there's a fiddle mod? It's like Fiddle Hero, New Vegas.
JS Fiddle.
Yeah.
No one knows what that is except for you JavaScript programmers out there.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yee.
yeah.
Yee, aka Shogoth Snacks.
Yes.
Let's change that subject. Anyone else have any nice topics to talk about tonight?
I don't think so. I think we ran out of every topic we could possibly talk about.
We weren't prepared.
We're only 30 minutes in. We must think of something.
Let's talk about how unprepared
chat.
we were. That's a good
No,
topic.
chat. Give us something to talk about. How about that?
Let's talk about how Ray disappeared.
Right? Let's talk about the people
No,
in the
I'm
chat.
just on the I'm going to hell for this Reddit.
How do you
Oh.
Reddit? How do you? I don't understand Reddit.
Just click the link and then go back. All you're doing is viewing what someone posts and going back to the page.
What?
Just scroll, click.
I clicked
Click a
the
title.
link and it took me to like one of those like I can't even describe it. It took me to like more things that I didn't understand what you wanted me to look at. There was just so much stuff in my face.
There's like numbers and then a title. Click the title.
There was something about
Of one
Paul
of the
Walker,
numbers.
which I thought you wanted me to look at. and-
There's a lot of Paul Walker ones right
And then-
now, but
Talk about space.
Space. So my favorite thing about space is the video games that derive from it, especially
like-
Space
Oh,
Engineers.
Christ.
I was just about to say Space Engineers. I was going to go back to some mods that I was talking about earlier.
What mods are available there? Doesn't the Steam network allow you to mod that game directly
Oh.
from there?
Oh yeah, there's
Apparently
tons.
there's
A
Like
little
there's
girl
the
just got out of the shower.
it's really one of the things that they really did recently that was really nice was they allowed you to modify the max speed that you could travel at in game. Because they expanded the world, before your max speed was 100 meters per second. Yeah, just for a technical reason that they couldn't load shit fast enough if you were going that speed. But they recently said you can disable that, but you shouldn't. But you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can
You
do
shouldn't
it but
unless
you-
you're very confident you want to play a gamble with your computer's abilities.
Or if you're willing to crash into like invisible meteorites before they load, like you might not want to do that. You can, but you shouldn't.
How long
you
would it take
pre-scout
you
an
to
area
cross
out?
from the border of a map, quote unquote, to the other if you were
At max
flying?
speed?
Yeah.
I did this calculation not too long ago, and I think it's close to 130 years,
Real time?
real time.
What?
It's six astronomical units, which if you're not familiar with what an AU is, it's the distance between the Earth and the Sun.
But
I thought that was
wouldn't-
like aluminum.
if in theory you can like fill a world with all of all sorts of spaceship parts and such, how
hold
could
on.
you how big of a save file would that create?
Well, it's sort of like Minecraft. Like think of it, Minecraft. Like Minecraft's quite large as well, except it's a lot more dense than Space Engineers is. But yeah, it could create a potentially big ass file, but it is a 6 astronomical unit in diameter world that you can go
I
through.
can see it then being like Minecraft, where it's essentially an endless world, but you're
Yeah,
probably
just get
not
lost
going to
in it.
hit the end anytime soon. But I can imagine the whole losing your house syndrome is like 7,000 times worse.
So,
Well, boy,
what did
losing
you
the
say
red ship.
The real time. Well, yeah.
And real time, I
It is
think
using-
at current in-game max speed without modding it is 103 meters a second.
So how long would that take you?
Let me
to
look
get
how-
from start to end.
Let me look
Is that-
real quick how big an astronomical unit is. I believe it is in the millions of miles.
Christ,
And it's 6 of those. Oh, it's 149 million kilometers.
Has
Is one
anyone
episode.
even hit a border yet?
I doubt it. I mean, you'd have to be
That is
traveling
huge,
for a
man.
long, long time.
Either that, or
Talk
you have
about-
to get a seed that spawns you at the corner.
Hypothetically, you probably could, if you removed asteroids and debris, and there's some other ways you could tweak a world so that it's completely empty. That you could probably build a ship and mod your max speed to fly faster, theoretically 20 times faster, and you might be able to get there.
Basically, jump to light speed.
Basically, there are some mods that seek to add an FTL element, but they're a little jank.
Yeah.
Well, I can imagine a thing like that being really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, they're really great with the modding community. Is the fact they're mod the game. We will allow you to mod this now. There's updates where they're oh, we allowed you to mod turrets now, so have fun with that.
Does this? It probably doesn't. But does this game actually have planets involved at all?
Not yet, but they've talked about adding planets, possibly. Because
crazy.
they make a second game called Medieval Engineers, which is a more Minecrafty 2D, like a 2D world style.
Like Terraria?
Terraria.
Well, kinda. It's like Minecraft basically. It's not in space. It's on Earth with gravity. And the fact that they're talking about possibly transferring some elements over to make planets.
Yeah,
or
to make a
planetoid.
planet that you could land on and or crash on.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah.
Imagine a
That would
game
be-
that
It
was
just
that
becomes No
involved.
Man's Sky.
You could be building a house like you're in Minecraft, and then get enough parts to build a ship, and literally fly off of your planet and go find another uninhabited planet to.
People have-
Wow, we're making
there's
sport.
a game. There's a game coming out called No Man's Sky that's supposedly going to do that. Each universe or galaxy is procedurally regenerated, so everyone gets their own unique universe, and you can land on planets and explore the planet, and then take your ship and go somewhere else. And it's this really cool sort of indie
But it's
game.
a
I'd be
PlayStation
interested to
exclusive,
see.
so you know there's going to be a lot wrong with it.
I mean, you know,
I
it's-
can't
I'm
imagine
sure
it being what we are all thinking in our heads. I think the concept is an amazing one, and any concept that sort of follows that would just be
Well, I mean,
the
look at
hardest thing to
Spore.
create investing ever.
Before Spore came out, there's a bunch of hype about it, and then it was eh.
Spore is pretty great, though.
It's only going to be.
It is.
The
but it doesn't live up
micromanaging
to
was
the hype.
just brain numbing, though. You can't micromanage all that, and they needed to do better
Spore,
with that.
Spore was fun to me when I got it after watching a playthrough of it, and I was like, oh, that seems fun. It's fun until you hit the higher stages, but just running around as a little creature fighting and eating things is entertaining for a couple sessions of playthrough.
Yeah, I bet that's how Shogoth was inspired.
Probably.
Shogoth was actually made in Spore Creature Creator, and they're like, huh.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I mean, that's possible. No, but the game's only going to be PS4 exclusive for 6 months, so it's not even really an actual exclusive.
I'm gonna wait to see about that. I know, Fable had a lot of problems with. What's that guy's name?
Fable.
Yeah, Doug. What's the guy's name that made Fable and a bunch of other stuff?
Peter Molyneux.
Peter
Studios?
Molyneux.
Well, okay, no, so you can't be and a lot of other stuff. He did the Black and White series, or 1 and 2, and both of those were genuinely good games.
I saw those.
Fable
Well,
was
there was
pretty
that
great.
Kickstarter where he was like, "Oh, we're gonna do this and this and this," and then it came out and they're like, "No."
Did
it
you
didn't
play?
do any of that.
Well, now no one can trust him because he lied so many times with Fable 1, 2, and 3. We were dumb enough to
What
trust
did he
him
lie
3
about
times,
for
but
Fable? I didn't hear about this.
just what he promised.
He probably
the
made huge
experience would
promises.
deliver.
He made it. Yeah, he
I
did.
didn't
He
listen
made
to
a lot
him
of
at all. I didn't follow any of the hype about Fable. It's just when the games came out.
Well,
I
Fable
played
was
them.
Fable
They were
3
awesome.
when I got it for free on the Xbox a long time ago. I played it and it was genuinely fun.
Yeah, I mean, I had a
Okay,
lot of fun
so-
in Fable. It just didn't live up to the promises that were made.
So Fable 3 was only good since it was a free game. If you paid $60 for it and you started playing through it and you're like, okay, the hand holding is really weird, the STDs are fun, the farting on people is entertaining, but all in all, it's a pretty shallow experience. And then you get to the part where it just fast forwards in time, where you go from having like 2 years to prepare and build up money for your kingdom to being like, oh, yep, 2 years just passed in the blink of an eye, and oh, you don't have enough money. Sorry, your kingdom is fucked. Peter, that whole realism thing you were talking about, yeah, come here. Let me punch you in the face.
I think you're just experiencing a thing of not being good at Fable and ruling a kingdom.
No, did you play the game, Nobot?
I did. I played the crap out of the game.
Okay, so unless you cheat or play for a really long time, the money that you gain, which you need to save all your people, you gain in real time. So if you actually play through the game like at a normal speed, which only takes about 16, maybe 16 hours to play, you will not get enough money to sustain your population. You literally have to sit there, pause the game, and walk away.
Real talk, I had to buy. I was trying to fix prices and do all this shady market shit with the land. Purchasing buildings and businesses, and I still had struggles. It's like all these bad choices I had to make so that my kingdom would survive. I had to make all these ethically wrong decisions that I wouldn't want to make as a player just so that my citizens would survive. It's fucked up, man.
And so, if you think about it, if you're making like 2,000, say you're making 2,500 gold per hour, and then you get to the part of the game. I'm just saying, hypothetically, 2,500 gold per hour. So you get to the part of the game, and you're like, okay, I have 2 years left to prepare, and then there's no real warning. The screen just kind of goes blank, and it fast forwards those full 2 years.
So that's just part of the programming that happening to you?
Yeah, that's part of the game. It just jumps forward with no warning, and you're like, what was my character doing all that time?
Each decision you make, it skips forward a bit of time.
A bit of time, but the last one, it actually leaps years. It's not just a little bit of time. And there's no warning saying, hey, by the way, this is going to take you to the end of the game. It's just like, oh, okay, I'm making another decision, so the next part of the game is going to come. You're thinking to yourself, there's no way it's just going to fast forward straight to the end from here. That would be stupid. But no, that's exactly what it does.
Yeah, Mr. Warburg just said is you have to buy all the properties and walk away from the controller for a couple hours in order to win the game as a good guy.
What I did, I just unhooked my computer from Xbox Live. I changed the date, and I changed it to where it was like 10 years into the future. Booted up the game. The game saw that, hey, it's been going. You've been gone for like 10 years. You have a shit ton of money.
Smart.
And then I reconnected to Xbox Live again, and that's how I saved my kingdom.
Now, you see, what you should have done is had it be actually 2 years, so that way it is in game time, and you come back and you're like, oh, it's been 2 years in game.
I wasn't sure how much time I would actually need to get the money. Turns out, 1 year would have been plenty, but...
How much money did you have by then?
A shit ton. Like that little room you go into that shows you your amount of money.
You couldn't see.
Did you get the...
It was full.
Did you get the gold key on top?
I don't know.
Probably with that much money, yeah.
But I really enjoyed Fable 1 and 2 as much as I played Fable 2. I never played Fable 3, but I mean, those were decent games at the time. It just didn't live up to the hype that Peter Molyneux was trying to sell.
Have you guys ever played Overlord?
Yeah,
yes.
Overlord was really fun.
Yes, I did enjoy Overlord. At least the first one.
The second one was...
The first one I like, and the second one's pretty good. Yeah, the second one's pretty good as well.
Dude,
I didn't really care for the second one that much. I loved the first one.
The first one was absolutely fun. I loved the humor. It was a great game. It was a great game, and it was the first time I ever experienced it. Yeah, the combat was
fighting against the legions with your seemingly weak guys, unless they level them up all the way, and then you can just attack the legions. But that was they were epic battles.
Yeah, they were. The scale of the combat got much bigger in the second one, but I liked the first one because of all of the story elements and all the fun stuff it added. So it was the first time I ever played a game where you were not only the bad guy, but you were also controlling a small squad of guys with a thumbstick. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite features of it, where you're like, oh, you never really felt like you were alone in the game, and you're like, oh, you've got a problem with me? I'm just gonna send my minions after you, and then you watch them rip them apart, and you're like,
is that why you didn't
yeah.
like the second one? Because it put you in the arena alone?
Probably. I don't know. I don't remember why I didn't like the second one. I remember the difficulty curve in the second one seemed like unusually cruel.
We need an
It
Overlord
was just
3.
more tactical. Overlord 3.
Yeah, I was about to say Overlord 3. I would totally.
Did THQ publish Overlord? Let me look.
I don't know.
We
pull
need
that up.
we need Overlord the prequel.
Dark, and you mentioned this a little bit before. Did you play that? Did you actually play Black and White 2 or 1?
Oh yeah, I didn't play the first one.
Warner Brothers.
But I have the second one on my computer, and it is a shit ton of fun. It's like a bona fide god game. You are a god. You've been willed into existence from the prayers of the oppressed, and you manifest as a floating hand that hovers above the ground, and then you have this little animal pet thing that does your bidding, and it changes from being good or evil depending on your actions, and you can either like teach your pet to not eat the villagers, or you can teach your pet to eat the villagers whenever he's hungry. And you'll either be worshipped and feared or worshipped and loved, and the whole world kind of changes based off of your actions. So if you're like an evil dictator, like the ground will become like cracked and you can like see red light showing through it, and the buildings will get like black and twisted looking. Or you can be like a super nice guy and the grass will be super green. There'll be happy flowers that bloom wherever your animal walks, and your villager people will just be like, I don't know, super, super happy and dance and shit. Either way you play it, it winds up feeling really rewarding up until you do everything there is to do, and then you wish you still had more to do, and then you're like, what? I'm at the end of the game?
Is there a rival guy that's trying to fight you the whole time?
In the expansion, Battle of the Gods, you have a rival to fight against. And that's
cool.
Also pretty interesting. Because he can use all the dirty tricks that you learn during the game, like picking up rocks and throwing them at the enemy city, and he does that to you, and it really can piss you off.
Is there
God damn it, God,
versus?
stop.
Is there a versus mode?
No,
cool.
there's no multiplayer.
No, it should be. That sounds like the perfect game for that. Of like,
Well, the game is really old. It was before that type of style of multiplayer, I think, would even be feasible.
Even the second game? The second one seemed to have pretty nice graphics for what it was.
Yeah, I remember the Game Grumps, or was it Steam Train
It
or
would have
Game
been
Grumps?
Steam Train.
Yeah, Steam Train, and it looks pretty decent. It must be the art style, because certain art styles can hold up for years.
Yeah, as far as like the polygon count goes, it's pretty low, but it has the ability to zoom in and out. So I don't know. You know how you have those game engines that when you zoom out, it just makes the certain textures disappear, and then when you get closer, it reloads them. It kind of does that. So it allows you to zoom way, way out to where you can pretty much see the entire island arena that you're on, or you can zoom really close in and see particular details. But when you do that, you start to see a hell of a lot of jagged edges showing all over the place.
that reminds me, Cass, we need to play Empire at War sometime.
Oh yeah,
What's
that was one. It's a real-time strategy game where you get to create your own Star Wars fleet or army if you're on the planet or not. And the Galaxy campaign mode involves you taking control of lots of different planets, and at least in the single-player mode, every single time you actually have to send a space fleet over, fight a space battle, send your landing party over if you win the space battle, and then have them land, and then fight a couple key points on the planet to take over control.
It's a more complex version of Star Wars Battlefront 2?
It's
exactly.
it's a strategy game, though, but instead of like a third-person
Yeah,
shooter.
more
but
complex.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess. But anyway, they actually played it on a demo disc on the Funhouse channel. They did it terribly. Like, Adam just sent, 17 transports into, the middle of a Star Destroyer. It did not work, but yeah, it's a fun game from what I've played of it so far.
My
It's just I got
gosh.
distracted and
Yeah,
haven't been playing
it gets to the point where if you're having fun with it, the campaign for taking over, it's literally the entire, or at least most of the canon Star Wars planets. So that's at least 40 of them that you have to battle with, and they start with
Tatooine
especially with
and
the
Hoth and
expansion
all that fun
packs.
stuff.
It's either controlled by the Rebels, the Imperials, or the Pirates.
The artwork looks like a Star Wars version of StarCraft.
Kinda. It's
It literally-
it's an RTS, but
Yeah, a lot of RTSs kind of look similar because of the art style and how the.
No, I mean like
is
literally,
set
it
up
looks like a
to play.
reskinned StarCraft.
it's not though. Anyway, but I'm guessing no one played this game, but Dawn of War: Dark Crusade
No.
had a similar system where it was like this top-down Risk-style strategy game, where you would move units to it, and the more units you actually moved into a territory, you had more units when you started the RTS section, which is really interesting because it would allow you to think more, I guess, strategically. It was really fun. Another game I should stream. We need to stream a lot of stuff.
We're going to be streaming a lot of stuff when it comes to some dating sims, when it comes to some drinking, fun time, League of Legends stuff. We might be doing some Minecraft eventually.
Well, we always stream Minecraft.
Well, true. It's just we're going to be
Well,
playing
yeah,
Minecraft.
true game,
instead
like
of
true
just
playing.
having
Like
it
right
run in the
now, it's a more
background.
casual, just kind of background to the actual podcast. But doing actual let's plays and challenges like that.
I think this Saturday we're going to do like a game night extravaganza where we'll play like Cards Against Humanity and Board Game Online and a whole bunch of other cool stuff that I'll be
That
doing.
reminds me, are we-
unless anyone else wants
Are
to
we
do
streaming
something.
tomorrow on Thursday?
Yeah, we'll have to.
After
right?
Zelda stream? When does her stream end?
Okay, we need to talk to Zelda, but that's sort of for later, I guess, when it comes to conversations to be
Yeah,
had.
fair enough.
Have you guys played? Fuck, what was it? Dark Messiah, Might and Magic. That's a really old game. I'm sure.
Cannot say I have.
Picked it
no.
up, looked at the box, and was like, "Hell no, this is no."
Yeah, it was a really old game for the 360. It was probably one of the few starting titles, and I'm pretty sure it was also an indie title. It was very repetitive in the style of gameplay, and there were very limited options when it comes to creating your character. But the combat was fun, and the story was kind of fun, and it was one of the few RPGs that I played that was just interesting. It was sort of like Dark Watch. Has anyone played Dark Watch?
Also negative.
God, why am I such I'm bringing up these really obscure titles. Dark
Of
Watch
course,
was
you're
a
just, like, all of them
Western.
obscure titles.
How about other games that have dark in them? Are you just trying to?
No.
Dark Crusade.
No.
Yeah, every time he says it, I think, is he talking to me? And then I realize, no, he's talking
Dark
about a game.
Souls.
Dark
Did
Watch
you play
was
Dark
a
Souls?
cool. Shut the fuck up while I explain what Dark Watch is, you goddamn heathen.
Dark Heathen?
Heathen.
Dark Watch was a vampire western video game. So it had steampunk. It had
Wait a
steampunk
minute.
/ fantasy elements. It was really really fun. And it had really twitchy, tight shooter controls, and it was just. It was my first game that I ever played where your choices affected the outcome of the game, like if you're a good guy or a bad guy, and whether you be cured from vampiric disease or become and embrace the vampire that's in you. And it was also kind of scary as well.
What?
It was very
Was this on the
stressful.
original Xbox? I think because
Yeah, it was on the original
I
Xbox.
want to say the Two Best Friends channel did a playthrough, or not a playthrough, but like a video in Dark Watch. Sounds really familiar.
I like the Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
Dark Watch is, if you don't mind, I don't know. I have nostalgia glasses for it because it was one of my first few games that I played that was a first-person shooter and that also had those kind of choice elements to
Oh,
them.
they did.
So yeah. So if you can stomach the graphics, I'm sure it's somewhere you can play it on Steam or something. I
So
hope
can I air
Odds
some?
are it's not old enough for you to stomach.
Speaking
that.
about nostalgic games, can I air some concerns about Battlefront 3? No.
What? Why?
Why?
Because look at what they did to the last two Battlefield releases, both EA and DICE.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
I mean, yeah, we know that, but why are you even more concerned about?
Because I love the
Because
game so
Battlefront-
much.
yeah.
It's like
Yeah, Battlefront.
Dude, I don't know.
is
I don't think they can mess it up. Like even if they made
you
it,
would
like,
be surprised. EA's stupidity knows
there's
no
too
bounds.
much you can do with it. Like it's completely new. Like I think the problem with Battlefield is they keep doing the same exact thing over and over again, and it's gonna get
Well,
old,
it's not even
obviously.
that. It's just the server. Like
It's the launch.
Yeah, the launch
it's
problem.
The launch. How the fuck can you fuck up a multiplayer game's launch so bad? So
Well,
bad.
Well, we see what they did with the SimCity
Fucking-
launch, and
Also,
So
yeah,
many launches this year were just awful. We can't even get even right now.
you mean last year?
every year.
Yeah,
you know
last
what I mean.
year. Yeah.
Well, actually, SimCity was the year before last, so the last 2 years.
It was
Yeah,
just a
it's just
string of
how-
non.
Get your shit together,
Well,
game
you guys-
developers, for
You
fuck's
guys are
sake.
blaming EA right now, but if you look
I'm not
at
blaming
a
EA.
lot,
I'm blaming
if,
DICE and EA.
okay, DICE and EA, you blame DICE and EA, but if you look at like all PC game developers, they've all messed up launches like all the time. But then it's like, oh, whatever, because they fix their mistakes along the way. But DICE and EA don't get any slack for that. What's up with that?
It's not true at all.
No, DICE gets slack. EA does not.
Blizzard never releases a game that's fucking shit. Like, I mean,
Well,
what was the last game they
yeah,
released that was broken? Like, absolutely broken, will
Okay.
not work.
Like, truly broken. Like, even
well,
Bethesda.
at the launch of the Diablo 3, they did have issues with too many people connecting to the server.
Well, yeah, I guess. But it wasn't a broken game. It wasn't like, you can't play this until there's a patch.
Yeah, isn't Blizzard just Bethesda?
Well-
Isn't?
No.
Or no, what is
No.
Blizzard?
You're on
Well,
some
yes,
crap.
no, just let him believe it. We'll let
Believe
him
it.
go on believing
No,
it.
what is Blizzard?
Blizzard's a completely separate company. A game.
Of course
game
it is.
development
No,
company.
they're a sub.
StarCraft,
they're a subgroup.
World.
They're a subgroup of. It's like it's either. They're a subgroup of one of the major companies.
Isn't it subgroup of ZeniMax or something?
No, they're not a
Maybe.
subgroup.
Let me look that up.
Someone look up Blizzard.
I thought.
Oh, no,
I
I'm not
think-
talking about Blizzard. I'm talking about Bethesda.
Oh, well, ZeniMax is like a subgroup of Bethesda, I believe.
I'm looking
Yeah. Bethesda is a ZeniMax Media Corporation.
Yeah.
Oh,
not
okay, it's the
Bethesda.
opposite. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, like there are glitches that are acceptable. Like, for example, in Fallout 3 and in Oblivion and places like that, when the game first came out, there were a few glitches where you could fall through the world. Okay, understandable. Not everyone
Far
combs
Cry.
through each corner of the map, and when you have a timeline to meet, that's understandable. Okay, the fact that you can't even play the game until they patch something, for example, MCC edition, you couldn't play multiplayer. It took 30 or more minutes the first day to play any of the multiplayer maps. You know, then there's all the Battlefield shit. There's the SimCity shit, and then weren't there some other games like Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed
That
multiplayer
was
wouldn't work
awful.
when it came to. Like, there's just so many things in the gaming industry. I think it's because, honestly, we give them too much slack. We just immediately buy into the pre-orders, and we immediately buy into what they're selling because we like the games originally, and they didn't have a broken ass start.
PC fault.
Okay, let's pause right there. I have answers for you, or for whomever asked the question. So, ZeniMax Media has subsidiaries. Their subsidiaries are Bethesda Game Studios, ZeniMax Online Studios, ID Software, Arcane Studios, Tango Gameworks, Machine Games, and Battlecry Studios. That's it.
I didn't know
None of which are
I didn't know
Blizzard.
they own id. That's interesting.
Oh, Blizzard's owned by
Neither did I.
Activision. That's what it is.
Oh my
That's
God!
what it
You
is.
ugh.
That's what I was asking.
made me
you
do.
guys were-
You had me look this up, and you come to the answer yourself. Fuck
Well,
you.
I was
Blizzard,
loading the
Blizzard
thing.
Is
Blizzard
a
is
completely
owned by
separate
Activision.
Yeah.
Blizzard is owned by Activision. It's Activision
They are a
Blizzard.
subsidiary of Activision. Yes, that is true.
Okay, they are okay.
They're
I
not
just
their
wanted to
own
be clear
thing.
about that.
Activision.
They're sure, but the way they design games is not. I mean, Activision does an all right job, but Mr. Wartburg, I agree with you when it comes to games being pushed back a few months or even maybe a half year sometimes. Because who said it? Was it Masao Sakurai or somebody who said that a good game can be pushed back, but a broken game's broken forever?
Something like that, yeah.
Well,
something
speaking
along
about
those lines.
games getting pushed back, I'm scared what's going to happen to the epically teased Silent Hills game, which with all
Oh my
with all the
God.
thing that's happening with Hideo and Metal Gear 5
Oh,
being
yeah,
the last
was
game
it-
that's actually going to be made by him.
Was Hideo taken off?
I don't know
Hills?
if that's been like confirmed, but the game
I
that
hope not.
game like Hideo would be a massive contributor at being one of the names that was listed as when you actually discovered how to end PT.
Yeah, I'd be
But-
like, is he? Well, what's the whole deal? Is he's still on, or is he not?
Well, basically the actual company is kind of quote unquote firing him.
Are they
Not
finally?
directly, but
talk-
he's basically cutting ties with, him working on games. Metal Gear being the last one.
Well, if you look at how long he's been doing the same thing, I can understand that he
Yeah,
would
I'm
want
sure
to
he wants
move
to
on
change
to
up
something
his,
else.
It would be cool
mean,
if he went under a pen name and did some indie titles. That'd be interesting.
Five Nights at Freddy's 4 by Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't want all. There would be nothing but exposition in that game.
It's just the whole nights are just the phone guy. It has nothing to do with any of the.
Yeah, you do nothing but have the phone guy talk to you all
And the
night
phone
long.
guy conversation will
like-
be just a codex call.
It'll be a codex call. It'll actually be, you'll see him moving around, and the animatronics will wander in, see that you're on the phone, and be just kind of awkwardly waiting for you to finish the call.
Can't wait for all the weird
Oh,
one-liners like "Nano Machine, son."
That wasn't Hideo, though. That wasn't
I
Hideo.
know, but there's still some really stupid stuff in Metal Gear. Like, I'm trying to think of.
It's probably the English translators, man.
Well, I mean,
Like,
I don't know. It's just weird.
All right, guys, we have gone over the 1 hour mark, even with starting late. We need to wrap
we don't.
this up.
I'm not editing this. We can go forever.
We can go
Well,
forever.
fine.
Bother.
You can keep on going on forever, and I will wrap this up.
Yeah, honestly, this
No
is
one's
really
gonna
just
make
up
a
to
Conjure
chaos, whether or not he just ends the stream.
All right, I think that about sounds
Nuts
good.
and
What's
Wait,
that?
wrapping up?
Okay. I'll do the Tejan spiel since he's not here with us.
Do it. Do it better than
Rip
him. Make him
Tejan.
jealous.
Most certainly. So, we have a whole bunch of social medias that we haven't even talked about recently, but let's go ahead and start with the traditional, shall we say, social medias. We have Twitter. You can follow us at the forum thread or TFT Plays to get our updates for podcasts and eventually live action stuff. We also, TFT Plays in particular, will release a tweet every time a video is uploaded or a video is added to playlists. We also have Facebook, where we release everything when it comes to TFT Plays and the forum thread. Just type in the forum thread, you'll find us there. You can go to SoundCloud, where you can listen to the most current podcast that we have up, which I believe would be the 100th episode. You can now officially go to Podcast Garden and type in the forum thread, and we have the first 20 episodes there for your listening pleasure. We now currently also have a Tumblr. We also have a Instagram and a Reddit. So maybe we'll see something in the future. Oh, we also have a Vine, so check that out. The forum thread. Thank you so much for listening.
No, to be fair, Zach, I'm gonna boost you in post, but you were slowly getting quieter and quieter, and his music was actually overshadowing you in your mic volume.
God damn it.
Yeah, when I said to make it better, I didn't mean to make it longer.
Well, that's all of our stuff.
We're
Like,
not gonna
it's
do it every time.
Yeah.
We're just telling everyone about the new stuff we have added.
Yeah, I mean the podcast garden.
Isn't that what social media is for?
Who follows us on Twitter though? You should.
No one.
Ev-
Only
Your mom
only about
does.
140 different people.
Does my mom actually follow us on Twitter?
Actually, no, it's your dad. Your dad follows
Does he really?
us on Facebook.
Oh.
Hi, Mr. House.
Whoops
Yeah.
has parents?
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. House.
No,
Listen, I
he
know
just
we don't have to post
spontaneously
this
Dr.
said-
House?
on social media
I don't know.
account.
Is your dad a doctor?
No, he is not a doctor.
His dad is not a
Still
doctor.
can't get over his first name anyway.
Okay, good night, everybody. Say good night.
Night.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night, everybody.
I can't hear them all. Are they saying
I
good
know,
night?
goddamn Tejan Lee, you motherfucker.
Okay.
I was saying it all so that this is the last time I have to say it. You piece of shit.
All right, and stop.
I love you.